Hey, David, are Trumpists really going to boycott the Georgia Senate elections? Don't they realize they'll just lose if they do it? Yeah, this is a great question. Earlier in the week, we talked about how by insisting that the Georgia election was rigged on November 3rd, and that even though Donald Trump really won, this is the claim from some on the right, even though Trump really won, Joe Biden was given the election and the electoral votes in Georgia because of some theft or wrongdoing or subterfuge. We talked about how by saying that, you're at least implying that the same would take place on January 5th when we have these two Senate runoff elections, which will actually decide control of the Senate. Raphael Warnock, Democratic challenger against incumbent Kelly Loeffler. John Ossoff, Democratic challenger to incumbent David Perdue. When you insist it's rigged, it's rigged, it's rigged. If people believe that, they might say, why the hell am I going to vote? If it's rigged, if my vote isn't going to count, if the Democrats are going to steal it anyway, I'm going to stay home. And so over the last few days and at her debate against Raphael Warnock, you saw Kelly Loeffler talking about this. They are now going to everybody must vote. And it's sort of incoherent. It's sort of, I guess the case they're making is it's rigged, but if we vote enough, we might be able to overwhelm the rigging. The reality is that it's Republicans in Georgia that have actually rigged the elections, if anybody has, through voter suppression tactics that have been completely out in the open. Voter purges, removing people from voter rolls, reducing early voting hours, so on and so forth. We've been covering it for a very long time. Do I think ultimately that many Republicans are going to stay home because of the conspiracy theories? I don't think so. I don't think so. And before, this has actually become a little controversy within the show's audience. On the Monday show, I said, I have been advocating for more participation and more voting for a decade on this program. So I'm not going to suggest to Republicans that they not vote, because it goes against one of the fundamental principles that I have. Obviously, I would rather Republicans see the light and vote for the right people. But I wouldn't be able to live with myself if now I start saying, stay home, Republicans. But I did say, I'm not going to go out of my way to change Republican minds if they've already been convinced not to vote by claims that it's rigged. And I actually got a few emails from people saying, David, why not tell Republicans not to vote? They're voting for absolutely horrible people. And again, it's the principle. This is not a program that advocates for not voting. And I understand if Republicans stopped voting, then the left could easily win. But if you know me, you know that that's not how I operate. I know that many will say, why aren't you stooping to their level? They stoop to their level and they don't care. Well, I do care. I do care. I'm taking the high road on that. But if Republicans want to insist that they shouldn't vote because it's rigged, by all means, go ahead and do it. And I would gladly accept Republicans losing those two seats because they believe that their voting is actually rigged. Go ahead. But in the end, I think most Republicans are going to vote. If you ever feel like you just don't have enough time to read all the books you want to read, you have to check out one of my favorite apps called Blinkist. Blinkist takes thousands of popular nonfiction books and distills each one down into an ebook or audiobook that you can get through in just 15 minutes, where you're getting all the key takeaways from the book. Just imagine how you'll be able to expand your horizons and knowledge by being able to soak up all of the important insights from 10 different books in an afternoon. Obviously, it's perfect for exposing yourself to a new book you otherwise wouldn't have time for, or you can use it to revisit a book you've already read, or use it to preview a book before you buy the full version and read it. I recently read A Brief History of Time, of course, by the great Stephen Hawking. This is a book that I have been aware of for so long, and other things got in the way, and it was fantastic to check it out on Blinkist. Blinkist has books on politics, philosophy, science. They have 27 different nonfiction categories, and a subscription is only about $8 a month, and you get the entire library. But you can try it totally free and get 25% off a subscription when you go to Blinkist.com/Pakman. I've put the link right underneath this video.